Today you'll be learning the names and values of the notes and rests. We'll start with the notes. I think the best way to represent all the note values and to memorize them is to visualize a note values tree. And at the top, you've got the note that has the most value, the most number of beats. And at the bottom, you've got the ones that have the least value or the least number of beats. At the top of the note values tree, you have this open circle. It's a whole note. It gets 4 beats. The next level down, you've got half notes. Each of these gets 2 beats. Notice that 2 plus 2 equals 4. The next level down, we've got quarter notes. Each of these gets 1 beat. Notice how 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. Next level down, we have eighth notes. Each of these gets half of a beat. Half plus a half is 1, half plus a half is 1, half plus half is 1, half plus half is 1, for a grand total of 4. This is another way to draw eighth notes. So each of these here that has a flag on it, this is one way of drawing an eighth note. Here's 1 eighth note, 1 eighth note, 1 eighth note. If you want to group them together, if you wanted 2 eighth notes together, it's easier to keep track of how many eighth notes you have, especially if you have a whole bunch of eighth notes in a row like this. It's easier to keep track of where you're at when you're counting or playing or singing if you use a beam on top and you put them in groups of 2. So these are 2 eighth notes, half a beat, half a beat. You can also put them in a group of 4 as long as you have a single beam on top, single beam on top. You can put them in groups of 3, 7, 14, 41. I don't know why you never want to do that, but you could if you wanted. All right, last level, we have 16th notes. Each of these gets 1/4 of a beat, or 1/4 of a beat. 4 of these together makes a whole beat. 4 of these together is a beat. 4 of these together is a beat. 4 of these together is a beat, for a grand total of 4 beats. Just like the eighth notes, there's another way of drawing 16th notes. Oftentimes, you'll see 16th notes in groups of 4, and for the same reason. When you have a whole bunch of these, it's easy to lose your spot, but if you've beamed them together in groups of 4, it's easier to keep track of where you're at. So you'll often see 16th notes in groups of 4 with a double beam on top. But just like eighth notes, you can have any number of 16th notes beamed together with that double beam, and they are still 16th notes. So there's just 2 16th notes. You can have groups of 8, 16, 132, whatever it is. They're still 16th notes if they have a double beam. So I was explaining this as I was going down the tree. Each level of the tree fills up an entire measure in 4/4 time, because in 4/4 time, every measure contains exactly 4 beats, right? So your whole note fills up a whole measure in 4/4 time. People often confuse the name and the number of beats that that note gets. For example, a half note. A half note does not get half a beat. Oftentimes that's the mistake that I will see. A half note gets 2 beats. That's because each of these will fill up half a measure in 4/4 time. Same thing with the eighth notes down here, for example. An eighth note does not get an eighth of a beat. An eighth note gets half a beat because each of these notes fills up an eighth of the measure. Rest values tree. At the very top, we have a whole rest. It gets 4 beats. The next level down, you may have noticed the difference. A whole rest is like an upside down top hat, and half rests are a right side up top hat. It's important to memorize that right now. Half rests get 2 beats. Then we've got quarter rests. They each get 1 beat. And again, every single level adds up to 4. 2 and 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. Half plus 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 half equals 4. And our final level, 16th rests, each of them gets 1/4 of a beat. So this is the exact same thing as the note values tree, but the symbols all look different. We have whole, and the next level down half, next level down quarter, next level down 8, next level down 16th, and all of the values 4, 2, 1, half, and 1/4 are the same as it was on the previous screen. All right, there are 2 more notes and rests that do not fit into the tree, but they're important. The dotted half, there is a dotted half note. It's a half note with a dot. Wow, bet you didn't see that coming. And the rest, half rest with a dot. These get 3 beats. 3 beats, 3 beats. Dotted quarter note looks like that. It's a quarter note with a dot and a quarter rest with a dot, and these get 1.5 beats. Memorize them now. And that is all there is to the note and rest values.